within the campground. RCMP, fire services, and EMS responded immediately. They found multiple camping units had sustained significant injury and damage. 3 individuals sustained injuries and were transported to hospital for medical treatment. Upon receiving the initial 911 call, members from the Wainwright RCMP detachment began mobilizing. At the same time, the Alberta Real-Time Operations Centre, known as RTOC, began coordinating a comprehensive response. The RTOC worked to identify and deploy additional RCMP resources from surrounding detachments and coordinated specialized assets needed to support operations. Our colleagues with the Edmonton Police Service immediately dispatched Air 1 to support the search efforts. The Divisional Emergency Operations Center, or DEOC, was also activated to manage the incident and ensure that resources would be rapidly assigned as the situation evolved. Within 2 hours of receiving the initial call, a unified command post was established at the scene. Working alongside our municipal and provincial partners, responders launched a systematic search and rescue operation to locate and account for all campers affected by the storm. To support public safety efforts, specialized RCMP resources were deployed, including the Tactical Support Group, Police Dog Services, Air Services. In confirming the welfare and location of some campers, RCMP officers from as far away as Kimberley, BC were engaged. In accordance with RCMP mass victimization protocols, the Victim Information Center was established to provide supports to those affected and to assist in reconnecting family members who had become separated during the event. The Victim Information Center provided support through trauma, informed care, and helped ensure that everyone who was missing was properly accounted for. By 10:30 p.m., a reception center was established at the Chauvin Community Center to support displaced campers and their families. I am pleased to report that as of 1:30 a.m., only 6 hours after the start of the incident, through our coordinated efforts of all responding agencies, every camper was successfully located and accounted for. The response would not have been possible without the support of our many provincial, municipal, and public safety partners, and they include RCMP officers from multiple detachments across the region, Search and Rescue Alberta, the RCMP Tactical Support Group, Edmonton Police Service Air 1, RCMP Police Dog Services, RCMP Air Services, the Chauvin Fire Department, Emergency Medical Services, Alberta Parks, the Wainwright MD Reeve Mike Wildeboer, and CAO Kelly Baczynski, and Chauvin Mayor Alan Dow. This response demonstrates the strength of our partnerships and the dedication of our emergency responders across the region. Through a coordinated effort, we were able to quickly establish command, conduct search and rescue operations, ensure that everyone affected by this event received the support they needed. At this time, there is no ongoing public safety concern related to this incident. With all campers accounted for and emergency response objectives completed, responsibility for the management of this site is being transitioned to the municipal district. I'd like to thank all responders, partner agencies, volunteers, and community leaders who supported the operation and assisted those affected by this event.
Bonjour, je suis constable couture avec la GRC en Alberta. Ceci est une version française. Dans la soirée du 8 juillet 2026, vers 8h30, un phénomène météorologique violent vraisemblable à une tornade a frappé le terrain de camping parc provincial de Dilbury Lake. Au moment de l'incident, 42 emplacements étaient occupés au sein du terrain. La GRC, les pompiers, ainsi que les services médicaux d'urgence ont immédiatement intervenu et ont constaté que plusieurs emplacements de camping avaient subi des dégâts importants. 3 personnes avaient été blessées, et ont été transportés à l'hôpital pour recevoir des soins médicaux. Dans la réception de l'appel initial du 911, les membres du détachement de la GRC Wainwright sont immédiatement mobilisés. Dans le même temps, le centre d'opération en temps réel RTOC de la GRC a commencé à coordonner une intervention de grande envergure. RTOC a déployé plusieurs membres et ressources de la GRC pour venir en aide au détachement ici. Nos collègues du service de police d'Edmonton ont immédiatement dépêché Air One pour venir nous soutenir en effort de rechercher pour les campeurs. Le centre des opérations d'urgence de la division DHawk a également été activé pour gérer l'incident et veiller que les ressources puissent être rapidement affectées en mesure de la situation évoluer. Moins de 2 heures après la réception de l'appel initial, un poste de commandement unifié avait été mis en place sur les lieux. En collaboration avec nos partenaires municipaux et provinciaux, les intervenants ont lancé une opération systématique de la recherche de sauvetage afin de localiser et de recenser tous les campeurs touchés par la tempête. Pour soutenir les efforts en matière de sécurité publique, les ressources spécialisées de la GRC ont été déployées, notamment le groupe de soutien tactique, les services cynophiles et les services aériens. Des agences de la GRC venues aussi loin que Kimberley en British Columbia ont été mobilisées. Pour confirmer le bien-être et localiser de certains campeurs. Conformément au protocole de la GRC en cas de victimisation de masse, un centre d'information pour les victimes a été mis en place afin d'apporter du soutien aux personnes touchées et à aider à les réunir avec leurs membres de leur famille. À 22h30, un centre d'accueil a été mis en place au centre communautaire de Chauvin pour venir en aide aux campeurs déplacés et leurs familles. J'ai le plaisir d'annoncer qu'à 1h30 du matin, soit seulement 6 heures après le début de l'incident, grâce aux efforts coordonnés de tous les services d'intervention, chaque campeur a été localisé et sont établis. Cette intervention n'aurait pas été possible sans le soutien de nos membres et nos partenaires provinciaux et municipaux et la sécurité publique. Parmi ceux-ci, les agents de la GRC de plusieurs détachements de la région, Search and Rescue Alberta, le groupe de soutien tactique de la GRC, Air One de Edmonton, les services aériens de la GRC, les services d'incendie de Chauvin, les services médicaux d'urgence, Alberta Parks, Mike Wildeber, président du district municipal de Wainwright, et Kelly Buczynski, directrice générale, ainsi que Alan Dow, maire de Chauvin. Cette intervention témoigne la solidité de nos partenaires et du dévouement des intervenants d'urgence de la région. Grâce à un effort coordonné, nous avons pu rapidement mettre en place un commandement, mener des opérations de recherche et sauvetage et veiller que tous les personnes touchées par cet événement reçoivent le soutien qu'elles avaient besoin. À l'heure actuelle, cet incident ne soulève aucune préoccupation en matière de sécurité publique. Tous les campeurs avaient été retrouvés et les objectifs de l'intervention d'urgence avaient été atteints. La responsabilité de la gestion du site est transférée au district municipal. Je tiens à remercier tous les intervenants, les organismes partenaires et les bénévoles qui nous ont aidés à cette opération. À cette heure actuelle, il n'y a aucun problème de sécurité publique lié à cet incident. Tous les campeurs ont été retrouvés, les objectifs d'intervention d'urgence ont été atteints et la gestion du site est maintenant transférée au district municipal. Merci.
Good afternoon, I'm Mike Wildeboer, Reeve of the MD of Wainwright. On behalf of the Municipal District of Wainwright number 61, I'd like to express our relief that all campers have been accounted for and there has been no loss of life. Our thoughts are with those affected and with everyone working through the aftermath of this event. We want to thank the RCMP, Fire Services, EMS, Search and Rescue, Alberta Sheriffs, provincial partners, and all other supporting personnel for their dedicated efforts. Their work has been focused on public safety, helping affected individuals, and supporting recovery. We ask the public to continue to be patient, avoid the area unless directed otherwise, and monitor official channels for updates. Thank you.
Mike, before you leave, can you just say and spell your first and your last name?
It's Mike Wildeboer, Wildeboer. You're welcome.
Hello, I'm Garth Rosal, the MLA for Vermilion, Lloydminster, Wainwright, and I've never been involved in an emergency situation like this, but I've got to admire the responses that we've had from all the different levels of government. I know in my case, last night I was getting emails from the Public Safety and Emergency Service Ministry talking about the alerts that they were getting and that there might be a tornado touchdown somewhere out in my constituency. And then at 7 o'clock in the morning, my phone was dinging and dinging and dinging, and it was the Premier and a lot of the ministers talking about how they were going to try to help and support everyone out here. And so as soon as I got that, I said, well, I'm coming out. And I got close to Wainwright, and they asked me to come to the MD of Wainwright's office, where I saw the emergency command center and how it operated. Now the RCMP was taking full control, and at some point they'll turn it over to that emergency command center. But they worked very closely, and the professionalism and just the professionalism and the competency that I saw of everyone involved. Everyone had their duty. They were performing it. If there was a question, they agreed on what the next step was, and then we're out here looking at what's going on. So I got to give a lot of kudos to a lot of people, and to support the people that were hurt here. Mike talked about the people that were injured, and you know, we wish the best for them, and I just think it's been I just want to emphasize how professional I think everyone involved in this was, and they should be congratulated. So thank you very much.
Hello, my name is Katie Delves. I'm the area manager for Alberta Parks Parkland Management Area. On July 28th, 2026, Emergency Services and Alberta Parks staff responded to a report of a tornado touching down at Dilbury Lake Provincial Park, specifically in the campground area. The park has been evacuated. All campers and staff are accounted for, with some reported injuries to campers, but no reported injuries to our staff. Additional questions regarding the status of injured persons, we ask to be directed to the RCMP. Dilbury Lake Provincial Park is closed until further notice to allow for safety and infrastructure assessments to occur. Affected campground reservations will be automatically cancelled and refunded, and reservation holders will be contacted directly. Additional updates will be available on the Alberta Parks website. Alberta Parks appreciates the quick response of the RCMP and the local emergency response teams from Provost, Wainwright, and Chauvin, as well as Saskatchewan team from Macklin. Thank you.
Can you just say and spell your first and your last name?
First name Katie, last name Delves, Delves. Y, Katy. Thank you.
Welcome to open it up to questions. Yeah, just tell me who you're addressing, and then we'll go from there.
The latest update that I have is that they were transferred to the Lloydminster Hospital, and the status of their care right now, I'm going to defer to the emergency medical services for updates on that.
Was some of the challenges you talked about a 6-hour window, I think, of contacting everybody and making sure everybody was safe. Was some of the challenges just straight up communication? We're sort of in a dead zone a little bit here. Did that affect search and rescue?
Communication breakdown or a lack of complete communications in the area did have an effect on our search and rescue response. The delay in locating everybody came down to some of the people were actually in another province and they weren't here, although they were registered guests.
How have RCMP been letting campers back in? I know the park says the park is closed at the moment, but how have RCMP been getting campers to kind of go back in and survey the damage of their sites?
With the members on scene here, we've utilized a coordinated approach to allow the campers that have been evacuated to slowly come back in so that we don't have an influx of everybody all at once, and just to manage that influx of people coming in so that we can have everybody safely attend their sites to survey their damage and retrieve their property.
About what time did you start letting campers back in?
I'd have to defer that to my on-scene commander, who's somewheres in working right now, because I was working in an office.
What did search and rescue efforts kind of really look like when boots were on the ground finally? Obviously, it was quite a large effort.
Yeah, it was a very coordinated effort, and it started with the RCMP utilizing our air services, flying a fixed-wing airplane over last night. Once it was evacuated, we wanted to ensure that we could use thermal imaging to ensure that there was nobody else left, maybe trapped, injured in the area. So that started with the fixed wing, and then it transitioned into an on-ground search and rescue effort.
I don't think this is a question for you, but if anybody wants to take a stab, I believe around 8 o'clock is when the tornado struck the campsite. Do you have an idea of when a warning?
The emergency alert is what you're referring to?
Yeah.
Somebody have it on their phone?
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, it's the same.
Because it came out on a phone. Yeah.
And maybe just while they're looking it up, what time did emergency personnel start arriving on scene?
As soon as we got the first initial 911 calls that came in, our response time would have been within about 30 minutes, drive time in emergency mode from the Wainwright detachment.
Yeah, couldn't find it.
What does cleanup and kind of getting back to normal look like after an event like this?
Well, what we know is that a tornado touched down in the park. It took a large piece of the campground. There's a lot of trees down. So right now our focus is on safety and infrastructure assessment so that we can actually understand the scope and scale of the damage out there. We have not been released back into the campground at this time to do a full assessment. So that's going to take a little bit of time to answer that question.
As far as jurisdiction goes, is it now back in your care, the park?
RCMP are still in emergency response mode. Until they release the park, it will come back to Alberta Parks to manage the cleanup and fix the damages here.
How tough is this, I guess, to see, a popular campground affected, right in the middle of summer? Obviously, there's people that were, hurt for this, but, the rest of the camping season is probably going to be affected as well.
Yeah, I'm empathetic to our visitors. This is a very popular campground in the summer. This lake, it means a lot to people. It means a lot to my own personal family. So I am empathetic to our visitors. Our focus right now is to restore power in our critical infrastructure. We're doing our best to reopen at a reasonable timelines, but until we know scale and scope, we're not going to be able to give a timeline right now.
How many campsites and spots are there within the park?
There are 83 campsites in Dilbury Lake Provincial Park, as well as one group site.
Very briefly, Alberta.ca, when you go under emergency alerts, it should have a timeline as to what it was, at what time and what type of alert was issued. So obviously no connectivity, I can't double check on that, but when you guys get a chance.
I don't know if there's anyone here that can answer it, but do we know the strength of the tornado that went through? Maybe a question to the MLA.
Okay.
It's in regards again to that to have those concerns that
Right.
if reception is maybe a little bit better,
Yeah.
they might have a little bit more warning or anything like that. Maybe from the province's standpoint, is this something that you might take back?
Oh, absolutely. The premier, I was talking to her before I came, got to the Wainwright office, and she was. I said, "Well, I'm going to go see the site, and I'll give you an update." So she's looking forward to it. So one of the things that I'm going to tell her is the connectivity here, and our innovations and technology minister would have some responsibility there. So I'm really happy I came here and heard about these issues. And it'd sure be nice to have good connectivity when you need it the most. So absolutely, I'll be taking it back.
And do you believe, as a rural MLA, that infrastructure should be, maybe is needed for, rural or remote places to help in instances like that?
Yeah, there's some connectivity problems here and there. It's getting better. I know we're doing some good work that way, but when you find a weakness, you try to fix it up. And so that's definitely, I'll report it back, and maybe I think we need to probably do something here, but I'll make them aware of it and let them take it from there. Yeah, thank you.
Any other questions? Is RCMP staying on site for the foreseeable future until sort of every campus kind of comes through?
No, right now we are in the transition mode for transferring over the care of the site to Alberta Parks. That's actually going through the process right now.
Just so we know, it was 1958. It's when the first alert came in.
Oh, okay.
Excellent, wonderful. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
For making that
Thanks.
trip.